What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. I am back on your screen with another video of mine. In this video, I want to briefly talk about and discuss, I suppose, some of the things that I reflect on a day-to-day basis. These are questions that I essentially ask myself every single day just to kind of stay true to myself, because I'm strictly dickly a specific kind of person, and I don't like bouncing around with different personas, and I don't like making a whole narrative up and try to fit in. I don't do none of that. um and this helps me stay grounded. So I'm just gonna jump right into the video. So the questions that I wrote down, these questions are very personal in a sense. They're very open, but they're very personal, based off of obviously my specific I guess lore. So first question, and I feel like a lot of y'all can actually relate to these questions. They're very open. So feel free, if you come across my video and you want to answer these questions yourself, you want to get to know me better, and I'm always open to get to know other people better. So what was the first sound that felt like home? So based off of just like sounds in terms of like other people that weren't famous, the only other person that I really grew up on was my brother. I did have a friend of mine, his name was Lil Silly. I have another friend named Hassan's Music, um, and then so on and so forth. But I really took a lot of that inspiration from my brother. I mean, I'm adopted, so he's not really like my brother. He's actually my uncle, but I call him brother because based on the lineage, if you know my storyline, he's both my uncle and my brother. I know, kind of crazy, right? Connect the dots. Um, and yeah, I just felt like his style really was up the alley of what I wanted to do. It wasn't like, it was like touching base on the commercial because how good it was, but it also wasn't like too commercial heavy. It was about him. It was his way of showcasing who he is as an individual and where he's at in life, essentially, and how his mentality just basically was relayed on the message. It just struck me. And like, outside of like that domain, and it was more famous and stuff like that, I grew up on a lot of like Mike Jones. Next to You was one of those heaven sent songs for me. I just love that kind of music where it involves like love songs and stuff like that. That's like the realm that I love to sit in. um I'm a very loving person. So for me, is if you're able to express love, which is the hardest thing in my opinion to express and explain, it's like, yeah, that's that is beautiful to me, because everybody has a different way to explaining that, and it's never really the same for anybody. And yeah, you could say the same thing about other things, but love is the most powerful emotion in my opinion. um no matter what. I mean, shoot, it makes you blind, it makes you do silly things. um but yeah, I always felt like Common and Andre 3000 was up that realm of intimacy, I suppose you could say, that really got me to feel, wow, this is home to me. This is the kind of approach that I want to make whenever I make music. uh the weight on why, when did music stop being a hobby and start being a necessity? Honestly, I don't know when I actually adopted this, but I always felt like it was a necessity. It was never really like yes, a hobby is a constant regardless of what you make of your artistry. But I always feel like if your hobby isn't a necessity, then you're not really you don't really know yourself, because I'm a firm believer that a hobby is something that you utilize to get to know yourself and to find yourself as an individual. And mind you, um life is very difficult. There's no handbook, and for it not having a handbook, why are we able to browse and get punished? I never understood that, right? So then there has to be like a constant, something that gives us an incentive. What's the best incentive on making sacrifices? Yourself. So with that being said, I feel like sacrificing and making these sacrifices just to find yourself is so worth it, because yeah, like everything costs you something. Me putting in time and time and time into drawing out some lyrics, making this big picture, and then putting it on a track. There's a lot of sacrifices going into that, because of the kind of lifestyle that I grew up in. I'm kind of forced to live a very tight lifestyle, and anything outside of these parameters would literally put me at rock bottom consistently. And music is one of those things that I never let go, and it finally is part of my lifestyle, whether anybody likes it, whether if I like it, whether anybody is just supportive or not supportive. And there's more pros than cons now, which is crazy to say. Whose voice was in your head before you found your own? That's tough, because honestly, it's never really been about other people inspiring me in like a direct sense. It was more about, I just want to get better. I wanted to be good enough. I wanted to be able to make a song that saved somebody's life. And I did that. I accomplished that. But I suppose the voice that's always been in my head, and I wouldn't say that it's a haunting thing, but if you know, my mom passed away when I was 3, and she's always been like in the back of my mind, like, what was she really like? Am I like her? What did she have that I have now? What did I not acquire that she had? And it's just a constant push of like, am I worthy? You know, did she get to do what made her the happiest? Did she fulfill herself in that realm of happiness? And but if it was like an artist, I never really mimicked or sought out to be like any other artist. I mean, to be fair, if you suck at the craft, you can't really mimic somebody. You know, you won't be able to determine, oh, he's trying to be like this guy or this guy. Like I grew up with a whole bunch of friends who try to mimic an artist, and I got it. I got the memo, but that was just not me. I wanted to do my own thing. I wanted to bring something new. I wanted to speak to those individuals who get lost in music and they get overwhelmed with all these instrumentations and the utilization of all these plugins and effects, and it overwhelms them. And I wanted to make it home in a cozy environment when it came down to my music. I wanted people to listen to my music and be like, wow, like I feel like I'm at home. I feel like I'm having a conversation with Ezio. And I needed that conversation. That's what it's always been like for me. The sacrifice of the craft. What part of normalcy did you have to kill to stay a creator? Oh man, I had to honestly end my childhood. Like I said before, I had to make sacrifices, and it's foolish because looking back, the only thing I've gotten from music is just peace. And yeah, peace is great, but let's be honest, peace can never be achieved in this world. So really it's just a waste of effort if you really think about it. Like all the emotions aside and your thought process, peace is really a waste of effort because of other individuals and all the evil around the world. But you not giving up is what makes you human, and I'd rather be foolish and human than being a devil around everybody else. And let's be honest, we live in hell. If bottom line is we live in hell, and you're either a devil and you fit right in, or your presence just overwhelms everybody else's demise. And that's me. I'm that guy who, I don't care about fitting in. I never cared about that. I never had a place. Everybody always pushed me to the side. You know, if you know, you know. But I really honestly never really had like a place I can call home. But moving on. It just felt like nobody really was digging my music or wanted to support me for the longest. So there was a lot of sacrifices in friendships and like acquaintances, and none of my relationships really were supportive of my music either, until the most recent best relationship I could have ever imagined or even put together. But besides that, it's amazing. It's perfect. It's literally the embodiment of perfection, in my opinion. So yeah, there was a lot of sacrifices, and that was just, scratching the surface. If your music was the only thing left of your story, would it complete your biography? To be honest, there's not a whole lot to my story. I was brought into this world. I was conceived through a man taking advantage of their own daughter, and I was born out of that. Then shortly after, my mom passed away, and I was living in California with her with a very poor upbringing. I moved to Houston. This is almost right here by my grandmother, and I was raised up to basically be a man. I didn't really have a childhood. I had to accept the fact that I had to meet certain parameters as a man from a young age. Otherwise, I was deemed useless in a sense. And honestly, it may come off as vile or evil or whatever, but it's the best upbringing I could ever ask for. Because in this world, like I said, it's a hell, and it's full of devils and all these bad omens and bad people, and it gave me that thick skin that I needed to be human around all these evil people. And now I know what it's like to never give up, and even if everybody around you is trying to bring you down, I've learned that I don't need anybody to be able to survive. And I've learned that taking care of my responsibilities is the easiest way for me to be able to protect my fort. And because of that, nobody can ever bring down my home, the one that I built with my own two hands. And excuse me, I just feel like for the longest, and a lot of y'all would relate to this, it felt like there was nobody in real life that was real, that was like-minded, that were just kind of here just to deceive you. So you hang out with them, bad things happen, etc., etc. But then once I got the ability to go online and meet people my life changed for the better. I got to see people that were going through similar stories as me and how they went about life. I'm a very I'm a very manly person. Let me put it that way. So whenever I had people talk to me about certain things and how I would have, handled it, they notice the difference. It's a significant difference. And they just feel, most of people that went from acquaintances to friends, they realized like I had to really sacrifice a lot for me to be able to perceive things in that's manner and to go about things in such a cold fashion. And I love it. I love that people finally can see me through my light, and for me to be able to like put that in music and showcase my story and some of the things that I've gone through in an intimate way to where it sounds like a conversation between me and the audience. I love that. That's my goal. But yeah, guys, I do appreciate y'all showing up for this. If you took the time to listen, of course. I know it's a very extensive video, but I've always been into extensive videos. It's just my cup of tea. I don't care about this whole 10-second clips, 30-second clips. Why would I want to show you a highlight? If you can't handle my whole story, then why should you waste your time on 5 seconds of my life? That's it. That's how I see it. And it's either for you or it's not for you. But I do appreciate everybody else who's been around and stuck around, and everybody who's shown me love and appreciation. And I hope that I can keep motivating you if that's what I do for you. And I hope that you feel like you've met somebody that also is living on hell with you and is making the most out of it. Because I know that life can get very lonely, and it feels like sometimes that people don't understand you, even the people that should be the ones to understand you best. But yeah, guys, I'll talk to you guys later. I really appreciate the time.